Hello, I'm Archbishop Christopher Coyne, and this is Coffee with the Archbishop. And joining me today is my very good friend and co-worker, Monsignor Jim Shanley. How do you take your coffee?
Black. First thing in the morning, and then during the day.
During the day. Yeah, we have all kinds of kitchens in the house in which we live, so you never know where someone's going to be springing. There's the public kitchen for our catering events, and then there's the one downstairs, and then there's the one upstairs. So just little kitchenettes and all that.
And Keurigs all over the place.
Keurigs all over the place. I usually try and do French presto if I have the time in the morning, so that's a good thing. So Monsignor and I, we live together at Nyland Hall. I've been pretty much there since, it'll be 2 years this October 1st when I moved in. And I have to say, with you and Father Anthony Federico and now Father Dan Hakinos, it's just a great house. And then,
it is.
Now this summer we were packed.
We had 2 other seminarians with us, and we had another priest who was learning Spanish. So
yeah,
it was a full house and full supper.
Yeah, so it was referred to as the Hotel Coyne under Shanley Enterprises.
A division of Shanley Enterprises.
And then it gets kind of interesting because we all have different ways of doing things and all that, but we get along. Father Anthony wanted to get a dog, but we both said
we both tried to talk him out of it. We're still in that process.
He still wants to get a dog.
We're not really home enough to take care of it.
No, you'd have to do that. We could get one of those lifelike dog statues.
That's good.
That you can buy
a little
online.
stuffed dog.
A little stuffed dog, something like that. But now. The other thing that around the house I've noticed, this is completely random. Have you noticed the squirrels have come back?
Squirrels are back, so there's a few bears outside too.
Oh God, yeah, we got a bear around here on the property. But last year we had a couple of hawks, and they just decimated the squirrel population. Which was the problem, is because we've got all these oak trees, and all these acorns are just all over the property.
It's a beautiful piece of property.
It is a beautiful piece of property. Yeah. And we're thinking of doing some stuff with it. Because it's a lot of land that's basically spreads across Bloomfield and West Hartford, there's possibility of some development, some low-income housing and all that we've been...
Affordable housing and that other hydroponic.
Yeah, there's I forget the name of it, but they're out of Hartford and they've got places all over. There's one just off of Albany, that they took a lot and they turned that into a hydroponics, so...
And they grow food for the people who need it, or food insecure.
Yep. So that's what they do, and they bring it back to the food banks and all that. So you've been ordained how many years?
45 years.
45 years.
Last couple of weeks ago.
So what was your first assignment?
My first assignment was at Our Lady of Pompeii in East Haven, and then I went back there as pastor many years later. St. Raphael's Hospital in 1987, and had 9 wonderful years there.
Okay. Then you went to Guilford?
No, then I went to Rocky Hill to follow the pastoral team that was leaving.
Okay.
And I stayed in Rocky Hill for a while, and then I went from there back to Our Lady of Pompeii, then to Guilford, then to the Cathedral, and now to the Chancery.
Okay. So you're Vicar General, which pretty much means, along with the COO, Rick Brom, the two of you basically function as the administrative arm of the Archdiocese, and I'm just kind of don't do anything. I just kind of relax in my office.
That's not true at all. You give us guidance and direction and make the big and final decisions and start all kind of new programs.
That you have to follow through on and take care of that. So
I was really involved in the pastoral planning too in 2016, 17 and all that. So I visited many of the parishes at that time.
How many parishes did you start with and how many?
212, and then we went down to about 129.
My goodness.
A lot of churches stayed open, but some closed.
What are we down to now in terms of number of parishes?
94.
94.
So there's a few more that may over time, decide to merge. But on the other hand, we want to have some stability for a while. There's a few parishes with maybe 3 churches that may not all be necessary, but...
That was that's the hardest part. You can merge parishes into one, parish. You could take 3 churches and make it like today we're celebrating Padre Pio Petrocina.
Right.
And that parish is down in East Haven.
East Haven and New Haven.
And New Haven.
They have a church in New Haven too. They had 4 churches. Now they have 3. And even that, it's a lot of financial upkeep. But for nostalgia and for people's devotion, they hate to see their church grow. Especially if they grew up there. New people moving in don't have the same attachment.
No, they don't. It's my own parishes in Boston and all changed all over the place, and we moved out of the family house, where we all grew up. That's a lot of fond memories. But when my mom died, nobody else was there, and we sold it. It kind of things just change. If you go all over Europe, and you just see churches that were closed, or that's the ruins of a church that was once time was a thriving church and was a place, and now because of the demographics and changes and things, it had to close. So it's not like this is a new thing.
And so many people, even from Connecticut and from the Archdiocese, are moving south to the Carolinas and Florida. They're building and opening churches down there all the time. So,
yeah, I mean, when we talk about these things, what are some of the indications that it's time to like close a parish or to bring it together or something like that? Church.
Yeah, church. Most of the time, if it becomes too much of a financial burden for the parish, they make the decision on their own. We're not being heavy-handed saying you have to close this church, but sometimes it becomes apparent to the parishioners and to the trustees, the finance council, and the pastor that they can't really sustain 3 or 4 churches anymore, and it's not great stewardship to do that as well when they can't meet their other needs and the needs of the poor at the same time.
You know, when I was in Vermont, one of the oldest churches in the state of Vermont, Catholic churches, if not the oldest, was in St. Johnsbury, not St. Johnsbury, but it was over on the island coast, and it was in really bad shape. It was a beautiful church, but it was just needed like millions of dollars of repair, and the parish just didn't have it, so they had to close it. And they kept saying, "Why can't the diocese just give us $2 million to fix it?" And I said, "Well, because the diocese doesn't have $2 million." And so that was kind of a sad situation.
Especially in the big cities that are not as inhabited, where the biggest churches are and the oldest churches.
Right.
And so often the most beautiful ones, but if they haven't been, kept up over the years and sometimes over the centuries, it's just cost prohibitive.
Yeah, and just less than a half a mile down the street was the French church, which was in fine shape. And of course, neither of those parishes integrated, and
years ago they weren't allowed to. They all had to go to the church they were told.
Mm-hmm.
In New Haven, we had 3 or 4 Italian churches. So
you had more than one. Oh gosh,
different areas of Italy, and also even in the Polish communities in New Britain, as you well know, there's 2 gigantic Polish churches miles away from each other.
Yeah,
and people move. They move and they find a church that really nourishes them, and they stay there. Because they're driving everywhere else, as all of us do, to the grocery store and the gym and everything else.
Yeah.
Well, I don't go to the gym, but other people do.
Well, but you put on sneakers for the first time this summer.
I have sneakers now that I never had before, and I'm
lost a lot of weight.
Trying to walk, be more healthy.
Yeah. That's what I don't like about the house. It's like we're all it's getting healthy. The food.
Father Anthony was working out this morning on one of our little
Dan
machines.
Hockenhios walks every morning. You're walking. I think about walking, then I go lie down. Until that thought goes away and all that. But we are eating more healthy.
We are eating healthy.
And
I think in the diocese we're trying to meet, all the needs of the people that we can. And parishes seem to be working well in determining what they can do and what they can't do.
Yeah.
In terms of buildings.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of places that just really caught up financially because they have to pay for the buildings, they have to pay for the insurance, they have to pay for the upkeep, they have to pay for the plowing, the lights, everything. And they're buildings that they really don't need, but it's hard to let go.
And some of their most faithful people are, getting older, and some are passing away. Some are ill, and some are moving south. We had a meeting with one parish that they had to have a new pastor and have a new configuration. And this lady stood up, lovely, talk, how disappointed she was. And then at the end, she said, "Well, I'm moving to South Carolina tomorrow morning anyway." So
okay,
that was that.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me. I know you were a little bit camera shy, so I appreciate the fact that you were willing to come on.
Thank you.
And I didn't harass you too much.
And what are we having for dinner tonight?
Salmon.
Have you decided? Salmon. Oh, that's
salmon.
good.
We're having salmon.
Nice.
Well, then we'll let it go. So
thank you.
You've been watching Coffee with the Archbishop. God bless.